9 signs husband disliking wife's family. Happiness seeker. What are the characteristics of a husband not liking his wife's family? Although a husband loves his wife sincerely, it doesn't mean that all husbands like their wife's family. Yes, marriage is not only about uniting two hearts, but also two families. This is why it is important to approach the prospective partner's family before deciding to get married. The goal is to be comfortable with each other. Many times, after marriage, the husband even shows uncomfortable signs every time he meets his wife's family. If you are in this position, it could be that he is showing signs that he doesn't like his wife's family.
One way to foster a harmonious household is to maintain good relationships. Unfortunately, not all couples can do it.
You can check the characteristics of a husband who doesn't like his wife's family below. By knowing, you can find ways to improve your husband's relationship with your family later. Number 1. Never asking how the wife's family is doing. When you get married, your wife's family is your husband's family too, and vice versa. Have you ever seen your husband ask how your family members are like mom and dad? If not, this could be a sign that your husband doesn't like your wife's family. Your husband more often asks about your friends, neighbors, and coworkers rather than his own wife's family. In fact, your communication with your husband's family is quite intense so far. The behavior he shows is a sign that the husband does not care about his wife's family. The reasons vary, perhaps because he has received hurtful remarks from your family. Number 2. Avoiding family gatherings. One way to keep in touch with Bezin is to visit them regularly. Orison, Selamaiden, and holiday visits are usually a mandatory agenda for many families. Husbands who don't like their wife's family tend to avoid events like this. He is reluctant to socialize with his wife's family because he feels uncomfortable with them. As a result, when these events will take place, the husband will make this and that excuse so that he does not need to be involved in family events where he has to meet his wife's family members. Number 3. Not wanting his wife's family to interfere in his affairs. When we want to organize an event that involves many people, of course we need the help of others. If we are married, we will usually ask for help from family and in-laws. For husbands who are not comfortable with their wife's family, they will choose not to involve them in the event. For husbands who are not comfortable with their wife's family, they will choose not to involve them in the event. Instead of contacting the in-laws or in-laws, the husband will lean more towards his own family. You should be vigilant because this gesture could be the forerunner of a husband who defends his family more often. Number 4. Avoiding direct contact with the wife's family. Husbands who don't like their wife's family can be seen clearly from how they act when your parents or siblings visit home. This condition often makes husbands confused. Usually, husbands who are uncomfortable with their wife's family will continue to avoid direct contact with them. The trick is to reason that there is business outside the home. So, if your family suddenly visits home but your husband chooses to leave, it is likely that this is a sign that your husband hates his wife's family. Number 5. Bad words. When they don't like someone, some people tend to speak badly about them. In a husband who hates his wife's family, this possibility is very high. Have you ever heard your husband denigrate your family directly? If so, there could be something he doesn't like about your family, such as two-faced in-laws. So all he sees from his wife's family is the bad. In some cases, husbands don't even hesitate to show their dislike for them. Number 6. Reluctant to provide for the wife's family. Although not an obligation, providing for the in-laws is done by many husbands. This is one way to maintain a good relationship with your wife's family as well as a form of respect for them. If you have poured out abundant love to your husband's family, but he does not treat your family well, it could be that your husband secretly hates his wife's family. Your husband is reluctant to spend money to buy your parents' favorite food, even if the amount is not large. For him, this is just a waste of money. Number 7. Like to give insinuations. Sometimes the characteristics of a husband disliking his wife's family are difficult to recognize. In husbands who are easily familiar with anyone, it may take extra effort for you to recognize signs that your husband hates in-laws. Have you ever found your husband insinuating your brother-in-law in a conversation until the atmosphere suddenly turns tense? It could be that your husband has been hiding his dislike for his wife's family. When you find the right timing, then your husband starts insinuating with your family members. Number 8. Pretending not to see when meeting in public places. Husbands who don't like their in-laws or other family members will usually tend to avoid them when they accidentally cross paths in public places. Normally, when meeting a family member in a public area, we will reflexively greet them to make small talk. However, husbands who don't care about their wives' families try to avoid them as much as possible. Husbands are reluctant to say hello and get involved in conversations that they think are not important because they don't like their wife's family. Another reason may be because they don't get along with their sisters-in-law. Number 9. Comparing. The difference in social class is one of the reasons why husbands don't like their wives' families feeling that his wife's family is more successful financially. Your husband will show his dislike for your family as a form of envy and inferiority. He often compares his family's success with yours. It gets worse if your family often demeans your husband at every meeting. This will make the husband hate his wife's family even more. Those are the characteristics of a husband not liking his wife's family. Ladies, if you like this video, help like, share, and subscribe so that this channel can grow. Hopefully this information can provide positive benefits for all of you. Tell us your opinion in the comments column. Happy greetings to me, you and all of us.